China's President Xi Jinping wrapped up his three-day state visit to Moscow today. In an unusual gesture, Vladimir Putin walking Xi to his car, seeing him off with a handshake. In his bid to counter the U.S. as the leading global superpower, Xi told Putin that Russia and China are driving changes that the world is seeing for the first time in 100 years. No real peace plan for Ukraine emerged from the talks, and Russia carried out more strikes in East and South Ukraine today. Secretary of State Blinken is on Capitol Hill testifying about the war, first at a budget hearing today, but it was a lot about China's relationship with Russia. Lindsey Graham, Senator Republican from South Carolina, of course, questioning the secretary.
The meeting with China and Putin, would you consider that a marriage of convenience or a strategic alliance?
Perhaps a combination of both. I think you do have a partnership. Remember, as you know, right before the Russian aggression, they met. They talked about a partnership with no limits.
So let's just break that down a bit here with no limits. The world is trying to put a cap on Russian oil, Western world. Is that correct?
That's correct.
I think China just agreed to buy oil as much as Russia can supply, not at the cap price.
Well, we'll see at what price they actually buy.
Joining me now is Oregon Democratic Senator Jeff Merkley, who serves on the Appropriations and Foreign Relations Committees. Senator, thank you very much for being with us. The New York Times is reporting that China has sold Russia more than $12 million in drones since Russia's invasion. And as a result of Xi Jinping's state visit that just concluded in Moscow, it seems clear China is going to dramatically increase its economic efforts to prop up Russia. Do you think that they will be deterred, though, by the threat of sanctions from crossing a line and providing lethal aid?
Well, certainly what we're seeing is China saying that they will be an economic partner and that they're going to greatly expand that partnership, which at this crucial time is certainly the wrong way to go. But what we saw in that three-day meeting was a three-day brofest celebrating authoritarian power. Here is Putin, who proceeded to attempt to just grab the Ukraine. And here is Xi, who not only ran over the top of Hong Kong's liberties and rights guaranteed by their agreement with Great Britain, and they're certainly planning and considering the possibility of military force against Taiwan. So two leaders flexing their muscles and celebrating authoritarian power in a way that should be of concern to every freedom-loving nation in the world.
And one of the exchanges between Senator Graham and Secretary Blinken was on the administration's decision not to declare that Russia is a state sponsor of terror. For a lot of diplomatic reasons, it would make it very difficult to ever get to negotiations with them. They have other ways of sanctioning them. But the Senate, as you know, voted 100-0 in favor of that designation. And this is the way Senator Graham really tried to hammer away at Secretary Blinken on that. Let's watch.
Are you aware that the Congress, 100-0, which is pretty rare around here, supported the idea of declaring Russia a state sponsor of terrorism under U.S. law?
Yeah. We have, as you know, multiple designations that focus on Russia's war crimes, atrocities, et cetera. The SST brings with it also, I think, potentially some unintended consequences.
So here's my question.
Yeah.
Are you going to designate Russia a state sponsor of terrorism under U.S. law? Do you intend to do that?
What we've been doing, Senator, as you know, I think, is working with you to look at a new designation that would go to
but we sort of failed in that endeavor.
He was also not happy at all about Mexico and its letting fentanyl kill, as he pointed out, 70,000 Americans last year. So the secretary was on the spot on a number of things. What do you think that the U.S. should do regarding China?
Well, certainly we need to be prepared for a very long competition with China. China's economic might and its projection in its Belt and Road Initiative is going to create influence around the world. It already is. China sees itself on the ascendancy. It plans to flex those muscles and expand more. I think it means we have to certainly be present in the world to keep advocating for the vision of democracy, the vision of people contending with their own future. What scares me about China China is we have seen what a massively repressive state they are in terms of human rights. They're using high-tech strategies to repress the Muslim Uyghur population, basically turning into a million-person slave camp. And those are tools that the rest of the authoritarian leaders of the world may look to and say, well, let's enhance our ability over our populations. So it is going to be a generation to come of significant conflict between an expanding China and a vision of authoritarian repression and the efforts of the United States to lead the world in having human rights and respect for freedom of speech and freedom of religion and freedom of assembly.
And you have another hearing this afternoon with the secretary, so he's got a tough day up there. Senator Jeff Merkley, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Take care now.